Mike.
Good evening.
Hey.
So, right off the bat, why don't we talk about the news that just came out? Tom Coughlin has been fired. Around 6:03, Shaka Khan put out his little thing saying that he made the decision to go ahead and let him go because it was poison to the players, pretty much, and that's really.
Is that what he said?
Oh, pretty much, yeah. No, I've got the thing. I don't know if he said poison, but somebody else said poison. I'm just running with it, so nobody's gonna fact check this.
I was just curious, man. I'm not trying to knock you right out of the gate. Damn.
No. I'm pretty sure I actually even bookmarked it because I mean he released the whole statement and everything. I was kind of surprised, but in that statement, dude, he goes on to say that he pretty much made this decision at the beginning of the year.
The owner?
Yeah, the owner. Yeah,
I want to make sure I'm clear on that.
Yes, the owner. Oh gosh, where is it?
It's difficult to get rid of a general manager or an executive, like during the draft or the offseason when everybody else typically gets rid of coaches during that hiring cycle. It's like the cycles don't really mesh up. That's funny. I said that and then started thinking of something else. We're going to forget I said that. So it just doesn't seem like there's ever a good time to hire or fire an executive. But 2 games left of a miserable season. It's kind of curious because just around the corner for them, they're going to have to start looking for probably a head coach and a lot of player acquisitions and things at the end of the season. So you've given yourself really only 6 weeks to find somebody, or you're just going to, absorb the position like the Texans did.
Well, yeah. I mean, what it boils down to is, the reason they went ahead and fired him was because all this other shit that's coming out with the grievances that's been filed against the Jaguars. There's 32 teams, and out of all the grievances, 25% of those grievances come from Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's bad.
Yeah, dude. They just had to repay Dante Fowler over $700,000 because he wasn't making it to medical appointments during the offseason that the NFL did not make mandatory.
Yeah.
And they fined him over $700,000, and they're having to pay it back. And not only that, same thing happened with Leonard Fournette. Last year in the last game of the season, he sat on the bench the whole time. He got fined $99,000 by Tom Coughlin. And he just won it last week at right the same time as Dante Fowler. And now the Jaguars are going to have to pay him back that money.
It feels like with Tom Coughlin that it's personal, doesn't it? It doesn't feel like business. Like this isn't like a New England disciplinary approach that Bill Belichick is running. This is some kind of, I don't know, grudge that Tom Coughlin is holding towards a younger generation, maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, it just his time to go is been past, I believe, and I don't find it hard to believe that it's been talked about before this season because, like, it was said that Mike about him. I've lost my train of thought. But anyhow, I think that it makes sense that this is just a catalyst. This is something that's been wanting to happen there, and then this is just a catalyst to make it happen.
Well, he said this in his statement that he released. He put, this is from Shaka Khan, whatever the hell his name is. I determined earlier this fall that making this move at the conclusion of 2019 season would be in everybody's best interest. But in recent days, I reconsidered and decided to make this change immediately. So basically, yeah, we're in a lot of shit because of his fines. And basically, from what I've gathered from all the players, it's him. It's Tom Coughlin. It's not, anybody else but Tom Coughlin making all these damn decisions or all these penalties. And you know what? He's like the strict principal that no one liked, dude. He's just a dick.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
He's just a dick.
It's not working.
No, he was a bad fit. It's one of these things that Tom Coughlin was a decent head coach. He won a couple of Super Bowls. He kind of overstayed his welcome there because he has one of these Parcells types of approaches that really grind on people very quickly.
Yeah.
And the only thing that can really grease the skids on that is if you're winning. When you're not winning and you have that approach, it pisses everybody off. And Jacksonville obviously is not winning. But not only that, he's not the coach. And he is a coach, and they put him into an executive role, which is a little curious. I know he's got history with Jacksonville, and it makes sense on certain levels to come back there. It's good from a PR standpoint because Coughlin's a better person in that seat and also would have been a better coach than anybody they've had in probably the last decade or a decade plus since he's left. But the thing about it is, how many people talk about Doug Marrone as a coach of that football team? Nobody does. It's all about him as the figurehead for that franchise. He's the wrong person for that role, and he came in there and with this coach mentality, which has failed several other people. Mike Holmgren won with the Packers, won a Super Bowl, and then he went to be GM of the Browns. And the GM of the Browns situation was terrible from the beginning. And it's the same thing here. He had a lot of the talent, but tried to kind of override a lot of the things that the natural chain of authority of a team is supposed to supersede, and he just got in his own way. So I'm really not surprised. They only had one winning season, and some could say that was kind of an accident the way that came together because all the players ended up splitting after that.
Yeah. What is he? We've got multiple Pro Bowl players that have left the Jaguars this year, right? On other teams?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and they only have, I believe, one player going to the Pro Bowl this year.
Yeah, the Jaguars. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's better than let's see. And I think the Patriots only had 3, and none of them are off the offense.
Yeah.
Not one offensive player for the Patriots is on the Pro Bowl team. Tom Brady didn't even make it as a alternate, did he?
That doesn't bother me.
No, I mean, it doesn't bother me. Shit. I'm totally good with that.
That's the first time. That's the first time he's missed a Pro Bowl since 2008 when he had the bum leg.
Yep, 2008 was the last time he missed, and Ravens they lead the NFL. Team. Yeah, pretty much 12 players. 12 players for the Ravens are going to the Pro Bowl. Let's see, the Saints got 7, and then I can't remember who's got 6, and then no, Philadelphia is tied with. I was hoping I wouldn't have to look at it, but I do. The Chiefs have 6, and then the Steelers and the Eagles have 5. And then there's only 2 teams that I can find, and I may be wrong about this, but so what I can tell, there's only 2 teams that do not have any players going whatsoever. Any guesses on who?
I'd say Cleveland, but there's probably somebody from Cleveland,
there's 2 from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've got a bone to pick with one of them. I can't think. Who? I say Arizona doesn't have any?
No, Miami, which shouldn't
be
surprising.
There you go. Yeah, I just forget about them. They're just somewhere other than where my mind.
And the Giants.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Saquon's an alternate, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a backup of some sort. But
I kept, before we got together on here, I kept trying to find I can find the Pro Bowl roster everywhere, but I cannot find the alternates. I can't find the list of alternates.
Same here. They had a bunch of online articles, like little tweets and things about people who made it as alternates, but there's no uniform list of them on there. But speaking of that, there's a lot of Titans players as alternates. The only 2 I think that made it were Derrick Henry and Brett Kern, which to me is kind of upsetting. As good as their defense has been, that Jarrell Casey and Byard didn't get any real consideration as even a second team on the Pro Bowl. But I mean, I don't put a lot of stock in these things. It's just a popularity contest.
Oh, absolutely. But
it's money in their pocket, right?
That is. That's true.
For some of them.
Yeah. But I'm kind of surprised that Tannehill didn't even get a mention for alternate, just because, dude, he's been tearing it up. No. But the Colts quarterback did. He's an alternate.
Oh, my God.
Jacoby? Yeah. Oh, my word.
Yes,
okay.
Dude.
Listen.
Jacoby Brissett is an alternate, but Mike Tannehill, no one says shit about. I couldn't find anything talking about Mike Tannehill.
Yeah, the defense rests, Your Honor. I mean, that just made my case.
Wow.
Right, no shit.
Yeah.
I saw somebody bitching today that Aaron Rodgers got in over Dak Prescott. I'm like,
Well, I have beef with that. I actually do. I don't think Rodgers needs to go. I really don't. And you know who I think needs to go over Dak or Rodgers is Cousins. I think Cousins and his 10-4 Vikings.
He's had a good year.
He's doing. It's been quiet up there, but they're winning, man. And he's going what am I looking at here? He's got second in the NFC with a 111 quarterback rating. I mean, you don't just bat eyes at this. He's got the running game and the defense to support him along the way. So I really don't understand Rodgers the pick there. I think
that's a good call.
I think it's a shaft on Cousins, and also if we're going to give it to an Aaron on the Green Bay Packers, give it to Aaron Jones. When is the last time a running back?
No. Aaron Jones. I want to say it was Aaron Rodgers and just one other person from Green Bay. Am I wrong?
Oh my God!
It's a Baccarat or tackle, I think, or something.
Bakhtiari.
Bakhtiari, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that with 14 rushing touchdowns, 17 total touchdowns, there's no reason why Aaron Jones shouldn't have got his name thrown in there. When is the last time Green Bay had a running back in the Pro Bowl?
Well, I agree with you completely, but I think it's a numbers game. That's how he got knocked out. I mean, his touchdowns alone. I mean, I know I had him in fantasy. He won a couple weeks for me, hands down. Which is still a sort of subject, so I won't talk about fantasy. But the three guys in front of him on the Pro Bowl roster is Dalvin Cook, who's hands down should be the starting running back this year. He's been amazing. And then Christian McCaffrey, who's going to break, or more than likely break, the scrimmage yardage record this year. And then Ezekiel Elliott, which you can't put anybody really in front of behind those two. So, I mean, I kind of see I could be the fourth running back. He does deserve to be in because, I mean, he had a hell of a season. He's one of the main reasons why Green Bay is where they are.
Yep. And the next bone I have is Landry, like we stated earlier. This is ridiculous. I mean, we don't have – the first name that came to mind was Edelman. I don't understand why. I mean, I hate the Patriots, but the guy, give him credit where credit is due. He's had a good season. But Sutton from the Broncos, man. Either one of those plays right there, they've had to deal with shitty quarterback play all year, and they've made outstanding games for the most part. So I don't understand why this Landry business is taking place. I really don't get that. So it's all politics, I guess, like you say, because that doesn't make any sense to me, the Landry pick.
I agree. I think that they should come up with a formula, and this really could go across a couple of different sports because every year, I know in the NBA, I always give the NBA shit, but look at them. I mean, they used to vote guys into the NBA All-Star game that played like 6 games that season.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. No, it's okay. No, I mean, but it's like Shaq when he was with like the Celtics or the Cavaliers or whatever would get voted on. It's kind of the same thing here. It's a little bit of name recognition gets these guys on the roster, especially offensive linemen who really there's no stat to prop them up. But I think there should be some kind of algorithm that takes into account like the leaders in specific categories that carries some kind of weight versus also the public vote. There's a way to do that instead of just make it about who votes for who. Because, I mean, you see these guys campaigning on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, hashtag vote for me. And now they're starting to count those things. So it's only going to get worse from here, I'm afraid.
Well, I'll tell you, this will be the last time I talk about the Pro Bowl.
This year, ever
until the next time that I'm asked.
I can't believe they still have it. It's insane.
I am surprised they still have it. And the fact that they have it before the Super Bowl is just, I don't get that one bit.
You know why? Because somebody watches it. And I want to meet those people because I've never met them.
I haven't either. Like, honestly, I watched it more after the Super Bowl than I do before the Super Bowl. I don't care.
I liked it better that way, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because you get to see the players from the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Ever since, Tom Brady's been in the Pro Bowl or selected for the Pro Bowl how many times, but most of the times he's in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, it's not like he was playing it anyways. So, but I mean, I am glad that Drew Brees is in there, even though he didn't get voted in by the popular vote. That was Russell Wilson. He's the one that got in on the NFC. But Drew Brees deserves to be in, I believe, above everybody else. And he just had a historic night for Monday night by scoring 5. He now has 541 touchdowns, beating Peyton Manning's record of 539, which is followed right now with Tom Brady at 538. So, yeah, Drew Brees has got some shit going on.
Brees was amazing the other night. And it's so much so that
absolutely amazing.
It's hard to even remember who they played unless you look at it on the stat sheet because Indianapolis wasn't there. I fell asleep during this game, as in my old age I tend to do a lot. But, I mean, I woke up at the end, and I already knew before I passed out that Drew Brees had broken the career touchdowns record. I was more surprised to wake up and hear that he had broken the single-game completion percentage record.
Exactly.
That, by the way, did you know, used to be held by Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, who was drafted to replace Brees in San Diego like 3 lifetimes ago. Yeah. And I mean, he didn't have a bad record. He had like 95.5% completion was his record, and Brees beat it with 96. Wow. 29 for 30, and he's like, yeah, that one incompletion is going to haunt me for a long time.
Yeah.
But
and that's exactly what he said. He said that's what he pointed out at the end of the game was that one mistake that he made. That's a hell of a player. He had 96.7.
how surgical a performance is that? I mean, just to take a team that 2 weeks ago we were talking about is, okay, they're still in the wild card hunt. And I mean, just completely went on primetime TV and gutted them. It was awesome. I'm really proud that he's been able to come back after being injured earlier this year. And New Orleans is a team to be reckoned with. I'm actually kind of worried about the Titans playing him next week, but congratulations to him. That's really a big accomplishment.
I agree, man. Give him all the praise in the world. Screw Tom Brady for even having to deal with his name during this record because he's got enough accolades. Let's give this to Drew Brees. Let's let him have it. Tom Brady, just stop. Which he looks like he has, so that's okay.
Yeah, well, it does look like he has, and it looks like he's stopping at the end of this year. Per rumors, he's put his house up for sale. He's gotten rid of all kinds of assets in that in that area. So
he's looked flat this year, like 50% of the time.
He doesn't have an offense. He does not have a running back. Edelman is his best receiver, and he's barely getting
to him anymore. He's beyond the point in his career where he can carry a team. He's one of these guys. I mean, Montana. When I was growing up and I saw Joe Montana with the Chiefs, Joe Montana was not great, but he put them in the playoffs because he was able to add enough to a really talented roster on both sides of the ball. And that's kind of what Tom Brady needs to have around him. And they just hit one of these valleys as the Patriots do every couple of years, where they don't have a lot of talent. They had a year in 2006 where it's probably the worst year of Patriots receivers I've ever seen. They went all the way to the AFC Championship game. But that Tom Brady's not playing this year. So I really am starting to wonder if they're going to be able to make it through the first couple games of the playoffs. And I don't think they're going to get that first round bye.
I hope they don't. And
I don't think. As a matter of fact, I was just reading something before we came online about how there's an injury on the Patriots. No. Yeah, it was an injury. Their cornerback is going to be out, and it's the guy that covers the slot receiver. And in Buffalo Bills, 69% of their plays deal with three receivers. Mm-hmm. So they're really looking at not an easy game coming up against the Bills.
No.
So
I would like to see them lose that game. I really would too. I don't know if it'll happen though, because you just can never put them aside. Not this time of year.
You can, but I mean, they've been riding on their defense now for quite some time, and it's starting to fall apart, dude. The injuries are going to start taking its toll. I mean, this is the cornerback that I think he's God. What the hell's the dude's name? I'm sorry,
Tre'Davious White. Are you talking about for the Patriots?
Yes, cornerback for the Patriots.
I can't remember.
I
did hear about it last weekend, but I can't remember his name either.
I literally just read this before I started talking. I was like, oh yeah, that's something that's going worth remembering.
The Bills' offense doesn't scare anybody. I watched some of their game last week, and it's all run the ball as absolute much as possible. Frank Gore's lost more than a step, and Singletary is a decent back, but I mean, they run the ball so much that people just anticipate it and they play close to the ball, which is what you want. So you can go over the top, but they don't go over the top. They throw short passes, and I think Allen's a little inaccurate, so I don't think that their offense is going to scare the Patriots. The Patriots, though, should be afraid of the Bills' defense because I think Tre'Davious White is the best cornerback in the league at this point. He staked his claim last week, and he's been playing really well all year. I think a lot of what the Bills' defense does is the fact that White is such a good cover corner and allows the front four or front seven, however you want to say it, of the Bills to get home on these pass rushes. They look really, really good. If they could just get the offense on track, I think the offense is a little bit too narrow-minded, but they'll definitely get the Patriots a run. I think this is going to be a good slug match of a game, and you're probably, if you're a betting person, you would want to take the under on the points.
Enough about the Patriots.
No, I'm fine.
We crossed the threshold. We talked about Breeze, and then we got on to the Patriots. Oh, okay. So here's a quick filler question. So if you take Drew Brees and you're going to put him in your list of top 10 quarterbacks all the time, where do you guys drop him in at? Or does he even make the top 10? There's conversation about that as well.
He definitely makes the top 10 in my book.
I would think so. Top 10.
It's funny, but you start listing quarterbacks, it becomes difficult.
Yes,
so I kind of played this exercise on my own, and I started coming up with a lot of names I'd put in front of him. I'd probably do Brady and Elway and maybe even Aaron Rodgers at this point, Montana, Marino. Who else am I leaving out? I might even put Jim Kelly in front of him, which I know is weird for some people. So I'm looking like 8 or 9 on my list.
Kurt Warner?
It's really hard. It's really hard to make him a shoe-in top 10 quarterback, but he's going to wind up with so many. What?
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Miles. Did you not hear what Miles said?
Kurt Warner.
No, I missed it. Kurt Warner?
Yeah.
Dude, you could make a case for Kurt Warner.
Yeah, you may be able to. I sure the hell's good. McCourty.
McCourty's out. Yeah, that'll hurt them quite a bit.
Yeah.
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson. You're fired. Where's the mute button?
Yeah, no shit. Yeah.
The Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Oh my God.
Trent Dilfer. Is that who you're one to put in there?
Dilfer's like 3 Brad Johnsons.
Dude,
Brad Johnson's got to be the worst Super Bowl winning quarterback I've ever seen. Uh-oh. See, someone else agrees. You mentioned Brad Johnson, you got people pissed off.
Well, hey, I was living in Tampa at the time, so he made a mark on me.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, Kerry Collins had a good season once upon a time, but you know, most people would give him the thumbs down.
Ooh, I saw something today where Vince Young lost all of his shit at an auction.
No, wow.
Yeah, it was a storage auction of all things.
Oh no!
And it was his storage unit, and he lost everything. Like there's all kind of Rose Bowl memorabilia, his first touchdown pass in the NFL football. There's all kinds of shit. I thought it was
terrible.
Yeah, that man can't manage finances, and it's been the death of him. There's nothing you can do about it.
He can't, dude. He can't manage life. That's just life.
Bad.
Yeah. So, all right, the Titans.
Someone
get deep sigh.
You know what? Unfortunately, and I hate to admit this, I'm not surprised one bit. I'm just not surprised. When it comes to anybody in our division, you have no idea what you're going to get. You have no idea.
Could have been Jacksonville. Could have been, man. Sorry.
Yep. No. It's just ridiculous as far as, they never have ever won consistently against any of the division opponents. Not except for Jacksonville of all fucking teams. Yay.
It's a tough division to win games in. I mean, it's a lot of really even style teams, and it just kind of happens to be that way every year. But this was a really good game. And as bad as it feels to lose this game, the Titans had every advantage to win. And starting from the beginning, I felt like they came out, the offense was clicking, the defense played well, they got turnovers, they made plays happen. A.J. Brown is obviously our number one receiver at this point, and they're starting to recognize it as well, and they're getting him the ball. I thought that there's a lot of positives to take away from it, which sounds like a loser thing to say since you got beat by a team you needed to win against. But, I mean, from the very beginning, they executed a great game plan, and they lost, in my mind, based on 4 plays that happened over the course of the game. The first one, obviously, is going to be an interception at the goal line. They're driving down. The ball got thrown. I want to say it's Humphreys. Had it just ricochet out of his hands. The defender hit it with a helmet, popped it right into the linebacker who took off 90 yards. And that was a 14-point swing because he had the ball in his hands. He was going to score. So instead of us scoring 7, we didn't score that 7, and then they scored a touchdown in retaliation. So that really could have flipped the entire game. The second thing, obviously, is the blocked field goal that happened after that. Field goal is terrible. Suckup went on IR today. He was 1 for 6 since coming back from injury. That's lost us a couple games as well. The fake punt, which is an abortion of a play. I'm so pissed off that Mike Vrabel calls a fake punt in. I'll go on about it in a second. I'm really pissed off. And then the punt return at the end of the game where they punt the ball. We have the chance to get the ball back and do something at the end of the game. And the punt returner runs out of the end zone to grab a ball that was bouncing clearly into the end zone for a touchback and gets stopped inside the 10-yard line, which gave us 0 chance. And it killed a bunch of time off the clock. A lot of this really falls back on Vrabel. It's coaching errors, mental errors, game management errors, and it's killed us 2 or 3 times this year. And I think that had everything to do with us losing this game the other day.
Yes, I think that they could win against the Texans when they play them next. It's that I feel like that it could have been they could have won this past game. It looked on paper, it doesn't look like that they played a bad game. It looks like they relied heavily on Henry again, but he wasn't able to tote it for 200 yards, and that's going to happen. But I don't know. I think it could have been anybody's game, and I think sucks. It really sucks to see the Titans be able to not be able to make it. But I mean, the Texans might not even make it if the Steelers continue to do well. Is that not correct?
It is.
I mean,
they've got a couple of games to win, and they could push somebody out.
Winnable games. So it's strange.
Well, I mean, it's either going to be the Texans or the Titans. It's going to be one of somebody has to win our division.
Yes, this is true. But I get it's very confusing at this time with all the different scenarios that I'm
right now is the wild card spots belong to the Bills and the Steelers right now.
The Bills are definitely going to get that one wild card. So you might as well just say that there's one on the block. But
right.
It really could be the Steelers, or it could be whoever is the also ran in the AFC South. And that's what it's going to come down to. I think that's basically the only set of teams that can get that last wild card spot.
Yeah, no,
there are mathematical scenarios, but I think for all intents and purposes, it's just that.
It's between Pittsburgh and the Titans as far as that last one goes.
Well, the Titans can still win the division if they beat the Saints this week, and
the Texans. They have to win out.
Exactly.
They have to win
out. I don't see them winning against the Saints.
I really don't see that.
The Saints are a beatable team some days.
They are.
They are, and I absolutely agree.
But I don't know if they're beatable by the Titans. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe not.
So. I mean, it's that's their last home game, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, do we get them here or we get them in Nashville?
Yeah.
Okay. That does put a different slant on it because Breeze is playing outside.
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, I think I might even be going to that game. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. If our secondary can hold up to their receivers and stuff, we have a chance. Because I mean, I don't know really much about the New Orleans running game. I didn't see much of that Monday night. It was pretty much the Drew Brees show.
Yeah,
right.
Usually the way it goes. So
dictated by the game. But yeah, the one last thing I'll say is that fake punt. I don't know if you guys know about Paul Kowarski. He's the beat writer there in Tennessee. He follows the Titans and. Yeah, I think he used to work for ESPN, and now he's kind of independent. Well, anyway, he usually gets like the first or second question at the press conference. If Vrabel comes out after the game, Vrabel's obviously pissed off. He didn't like the officiating towards the end, and he's in a pissed off mood. And he comes in, and Kowarski, the first question he asks him is about the fake punt. And
I saw this. Yeah,
not aggressively. He just like, hey, so what was the decision behind the fake punt? Where you put the ball in Brett Kern's hands as opposed to Tannehill, and Vrabel just lost it, called him an idiot, and it essentially called him an idiot, which is why I'm an idiot today because I feel exactly like Paul Kowarski did. I think it's just a complete catastrophe of a decision, and he didn't justify it. He didn't really go on to defend anything he did, and I'm really worried that these next couple of games, any opportunity that we do have, if it comes down to Vrabel managing the game, he's going to cost us those too.
He's definitely the wild card when it comes to making decisions like he's playing college football, honestly.
Hey, Kern's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, that's what he should have said in the press conference. I put the ball in a Pro Bowler's hands.
Yes.
Oh God, that would have been great. That would have been hilarious. I did read something where today, like he's the only punter that has passing attempts, rushing attempts, and putting the ball. He's on. I was like, all right, it's great. It's just great.
Triple Crown winner.
Yep. And then all the shit about you were talking about Cleveland earlier. Have you seen all the shit going on about them?
Hey, I'll take the lead. Go. Let me take the lead on Cleveland here, man. Because you guys are approaching this at the wrong angle. All right, Cleveland is on their way to a 500 season, the first in such seasons in many, many years, as far as I've seen.
Haven't they already lost 9?
No, they are 2 games away from ending the
6-8
season at 500. That's not been done in a long time. So I don't see the problem here. I think they're having a great year. They've got a couple of Pro Bowlers. They've got some running backs to look forward to over the next few years. So, I mean, maybe the hype was a little overinflated for the beginning of the year, obviously with Mayfield and all this. But, I mean, there's a lot of positives in Cleveland to be happy about. I'm sorry.
No. I agree with everything you just said. I really do. I absolutely agree with you. However, this has not been going on since the beginning of the year. This has been going on since the very offseason. The offseason started last year. They built this up like they were going on a fucking Super Bowl run.
They did.
That's the only reason that anybody's even talking about Cleveland right now is just because of the bullshit. that's coming along with him. Which Odell saying that he wants out of there, which he came out today on Wednesday said no, that wasn't true. He's there for life and whatever. And Baker Mayfield. I mean, let's just face it. None of them are good at handling the media. That's what it boils down to. They're just they're kids acting like kids.
No, that's completely true. And what Cleveland didn't have a hand in this, as far as the PR, the offseason, all the hype getting built up, they also didn't do anything to get rid of it. And one of the things that you see teams like, sorry, Miles, like New England and some of these other ones start to do is that they don't allow this stuff to get out of hand. They manage expectations, keep them somewhere close to the ground level where any successes are looked at as successes, not as expectations. And the players had too much going in this year. And I think this is just a continuation of it. I mean, they're allowing this festering boil of discontent or whatever is being made out in these reports that don't have anybody's name on it, by the way. No. Constantly are happening. This stuff's coming from inside the locker room or people associated with the team, and they're not getting a handle on it. It speaks to Freddie Kitchens. It speaks to John Dorsey, who I thought going into the season would be a good general manager. But again, you allow this stuff to happen, it kills your team. Realistically, I think everybody thought at the beginning of this year, Cleveland's going to break through. They're going to be a 9-7, 10-6 win team, or 10-6 team, and possibly make a wild card berth. And everybody would have looked at that as, oh, that's a good season. Instead, they just kind of let this thing go, and now a 6-8 season, like you said, Miles. I mean, no one's really looking at it for what it is anymore. They're looking at them as a failure. 2 years ago, Cleveland puts up a 6-8 season, 14 games in. Everybody's like, oh my God, how did this even happen? This is amazing. We'll take it.
Yep.
Absolutely agree. I don't understand all the bullshit that's coming along with it. I don't understand everybody talking shit about them.
Go ahead.
No, I mean I agree with you. I mean right from the start, 6-8. That's an impressive. Dude, the turnaround. That speaks volumes, in my opinion.
They have one win in 2 seasons, so 6-1 is not bad.
I believe really that the talent is the toe for all of the turnaround. I think that the coaching, I don't know. I think that there's fundamental problems even above the management and all these things that have to have to change significantly before they even break 500 in a season.
For sure.
I definitely agree.
Because you can blame it on Baker Mayfield and Landry and Chubb and whoever you want to, but that's the talent that has got them thus far this year. And
it's what saved them. It's what saved it.
It's not the coaching.
No. The coaching has not got him there, obviously.
No, and these reports are coming out now about Freddie Kitchens being safe for next year. I'm not buying it, and I think some of this stuff is manufactured just to try to distract from the distractions. Try to give him something else to look at that's positive. Kitchens, if you're any part of the Browns leadership, Kitchens has got to be gone. You've got to get a real head coach in there next year, or you are going to have players leaving.
Yep.
I mean, I look at players like Odell Beckham and Landry, anybody with any talent on the defensive side of the ball. They're all going to start looking around, especially anybody who's free agents who's got contracts coming up at the end of the year. They're going to take off in a second, especially if it's kind of like the thing with the Cowboys. If you have a lame duck coach and nobody knows who's going to be there, they're going to start looking for ways to get out of there, and then your roster is going to start to break down just the same way. So it's no different.
No, they need a little bit of Coughlin counsel.
Fuck that.
There you go. Get your boy back in there, Adam.
The coaches may need that, but not the players. Because dude, I'm convinced. That was the whole problem with the Jags ever since they came off that championship, the championship playoff game. Ever since then, that's when they went downhill. That was Tom Coughlin's first year there, wasn't it? Am I correct? I think I'm right.
His first year, yeah, 2017.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was his first year there. First year there. And then from then on out, everything went to shit because he's obviously a dictator. Nobody likes fucking with the dictator. He's a dick.
And I mean, he just projects that he doesn't, that he's doing moves based on emotion. And as a leadership role, if you're putting emotion into business decisions like the Blake Bortles contract and the Nick Foles contract and then the whole Jalen Ramsey situation, people start looking around after a while thinking these guys don't know what they're doing. And so people will quit on you. And I think that's what's happened this year. Jacksonville's won 5 games. I think they had the talent to really be competitive in this division, and they fell apart because they just became this directionless, rudderless ship that's in the ocean. And now Coughlin's gone, so they're really even more so. I think it's going to be a positive in the long run, but you hate to see them go through another rebuild after they were playing for the Super Bowl. And realistically, they were like a play or two from getting in there. Sorry, man. And 2 years later, you're tearing down all the dominoes. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's bad rebuild there. But one more thing about the Cleveland Browns, I just want to say that I'd really like to see them win these next 2 games, and I believe that they possibly can. It's the Bengals and the Ravens. I think it's going to be a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens.
Yeah.
Is that the final? Is that their final game of the year?
The final game was the Bengals. The next game is the Ravens.
Okay,
so,
yeah, that's what I thought. And it's at Cleveland, right?
I don't know if that.
I think it is at Cleveland.
But I mean, those are winnable games. So hopefully they will. And
what about McCarthy coming to Cleveland? That'd be a way for them to win, wouldn't it?
Might could work, but I don't know if it's a coach issue. Is it higher up? I mean, do they have more issues than just?
I know they flip coaches every 2 years.
Yeah,
they flip coaches every 2 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's not good. Pittsburgh, have they had like 3 coaches in their entire existence?
Yeah, none of them have been fired. They've all left on their own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's obviously been a model of that has worked because they're not been losing franchise.
So Jacksonville, they're playing your boys, Mike, down there or up there, I guess I should say, or down there, whatever.
Talking about the Falcons?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not my boys.
No.
We're not doing that.
That's your town, buddy. Just like the Broncos are Miles's buddies.
God, who's gonna watch that fucking game? That's awful. They might not even put that on network TV.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe not even in Jacksonville.
Yeah, no. And it's in Atlanta, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's in Atlanta.
Atlanta is a little surprising. I mean, they've jumped up and beat some teams here lately.
I'm
really kind of dumbfounded that they've made it to this point. I'm starting to wonder now if Quinn's going to be back.
Which they got the same record as Jacks right now.
Right.
5-9, right?
I believe. Yeah, I think that's right because they had 2 wins forever and ever.
Hey, Tampa Bay and Houston's going to be a high-scoring game, I think.
No, Houston's going to lose.
So, can we talk about Jameis Winston for a second? Do we have time for that?
Yes.
We got plenty of time.
What the fuck is this? What is going on with Jameis Winston? How do you have a guy who leads the league in touchdowns and interceptions and is just blowing it out? And I can't make sense of this. I think every week I was like, oh, they're going to fall apart. He's going to throw 5 picks. He throws like 5 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't. Part of me can't complain because I want action, and he gives me action. They're not down there being conservative. Bruce has gotten behind this Jameis. I think he wants him to come back next year. I don't know. There's mumblings, but to get behind this guy and just say, here, just do your thing, and he's done it, and it's not good for anybody really, but it's exciting to watch.
It's like arena ball. What do you think, Adam? What's going to happen with this dude next year?
I tell you what, he's got it. Physically, he can do the job. I just don't think mentally he can handle it. As soon as the shit starts hitting the fan, he starts hitting the fan. He's done. So.
And this is not his first or second or third year.
No. I mean, who else came out with him?
Mariota.
Another one there we've been holding on to for way too long.
Well, he's gone after this year. He's done.
No,
I done in Tennessee. That's just my opinion. I think he's done in Tennessee. I see him going somewhere else and starting. But I don't see him staying in Tennessee.
You guys are
be hard to do. He might compete.
What you think he's going to stay?
I think he's
no.
To the Titans.
Yeah, I think he's leaving the Titans. I think he might compete for a starting job somewhere, but no, not Mariota.
No,
that's that ship sailing right there.
Yeah, I mean, but where would Winston go if he doesn't stay at Tampa Bay?
Oh, pass. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anywhere where he would go or could go. Who needs him? Who's got a scheme that can fit what he's doing?
Teams. There's some quarterback needy teams, but somebody's got to be there to really shepherd him. I think Bruce Arians is responsible for a lot of the success part of Jameis Winston.
I agree.
And the teams that need a quarterback right now, I can't look at them and say that they have somebody steady enough to really bring him along. So that's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I feel like he kind of has to have that mentor relationship with whoever is coaching him in order for him to be successful. He needs
no crab legs for you.
Yeah, basically the same. The boxing coach for Tyson? Kind of that same relationship.
Customato.
There you go. Thank you. So, well, I guess that's really all the talking points. I mean, if y'all want to talk about anything else, bring it up. I really
I
don't.
got this rash, but we can do that separate.
That's another show.
Yeah, that's the podcast after this one. Clean your toilet seats.
Do you guys pay attention to Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, no. Wow, what's
Man,
going
I
on
don't
with
even have
Bitcoin?
$100.
It's all over the place.
I thought that shit done went under by now.
No.
No,
I
what's
keep
going
up
on
with
now?
it. It's all it's right now. I think it's at $7,000 per Bitcoin.
No
Wow.
shit.
You know, I use Cash App a lot to send money back home and all that kind of stuff, and they have it to where you can send it in Bitcoin now too. It's interesting. I see the option on there. I would never use it, but I mean, obviously, it's working because I have people come in my store as well. They have like the little Cash App debit cards, and I guess the Bitcoin can translate into whatever's in the debit card. You could use it.
Yeah,
Well, I do the
It's crazy
Venmo app.
kids.
I don't
you
see
know.
it as being a very good currency like that. I see it more of like a store value, like gold kind of thing. Eventually,
It's
So what do
interesting.
y'all?
I'm all
Me-
into it, man. It's got my tickets right now.
What do y'all think about the Raiders going to Las Vegas?
Who cares?
Man, it's gonna be just another city with just another team. I think after all the hoopla dies down, they had the first Super Bowl in Vegas, which is really the reason for building a stadium these days. It's just another. I mean, because right now you can gamble anywhere. People get on FanDuel and DraftKings and all the other fucking websites. Go to dog tracks, Indian casinos. I mean, if anybody wants to gamble, they can gamble. It has nothing to do with being in Vegas anymore. So it's just going to be Raiders 3.0 or 4.0. I guess they've moved it a couple times at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I'm not in Oakland. You know, if I were in Oakland, I'd probably be upset. But
Why, when you could just go down a couple of towns over and get 2 NFL teams? I mean, why does California have 3 fucking NFL teams in the first place?
This is true. Well, the Chargers are kind of like some kind of weird experiment that's lasted way too long down in Southern California. I wish them all the well they deserved. I mean, they're a professional
I mean,
football team.
they got 4 teams in California right now. 4 fucking teams. Why doesn't Alabama have a team?
Oh Lord.
Well, they do. It's called the Crimson Tide.
No,
that's exactly right.
I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't have a team. I really don't get that.
Yeah, it's above my pay grade, brother.
But anyways, well, cool. I guess we'll just I doubt we're going to be back for probably 2 weeks, right?
Christmas
to the New Year's.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to do. And all the game scheduling moves around too. You have Saturday games and that kind of thing. So it's up to you guys. Just let me know.
We'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably. When does the playoffs start? Does anybody have that? Well, no shit, I got that much. But so is it the first? It's first weekend in January, isn't it?
I think it's the second.
Is it the second? Okay.
No, because that's right. No, we have 2 more weeks of the season. So yeah, you are correct. First weekend of January.
All right. So.
Hell yes.
Nope. Have you got any more snow out there lately?
No, thank God, man.
14 inches? Is that what you have?
14 inches at one time.
Jesus Christ.
Where you at?
I live in Colorado, just north of Denver.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got sister-in-law lives up there.
Yeah.
So
you familiar with the area?
wow, that's
just
somewhat. I've been there once or twice.
Where does she live?
She's in, I think it's Inglewood.
Okay, that's close to Denver. I'm like Longmont, like I don't know. I'm like east of Boulder and north of Denver, kind of in this little small town. It's
cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nice little small towns out there. We've had some drivers and stuff go out there and work, and I've been out there once or twice myself. It's just really interesting the layout.
I like it here a lot.
Altitude.
Yeah, I like the dry, man. I love the dry air. I can't. The winter though, this has been kind of harsh, man. We've got 30 inches this year so far.
Wow. Already? No shit.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So basically, we're looking at getting back together on the 8th.
Okay.
That's cool with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
That'll be after the first round of the playoffs, and so we'll be in good shape.
All right.
I'll slow down my drink and make sure I'm still alive.
I was doing this stuff earlier, and I didn't send any notes, man. I should have did what you did. I appreciated you doing that last time.
Oh, you talking about Mike?
In the email, little talking point helper things.
Yeah.
For booster deals. Yeah, I should
Oh,
have done.
Adam's the man.
I should have done that earlier though, because I found a couple of good articles. I'm just saying that out loud. That'll help me remember next time to do it.
All good.
Rock and roll.
Okay.
Man, I appreciate it. Everything went good, and we'll see y'all next time.
Happy Christmas.
You too.
Bombs